Welcome to a special edition of the Social-Loco Show, a weekly podcast where we discuss topics, trends, and tactics related to social, local, and mobile marketing. Our goal is to help you understand these topics so you can integrate them into your own efforts. We're bringing you this special edition because we had a chance to sit down with Andrzejewski, the CEO and founder of Foodspotting, at the Social-Loco conference and actually talk to her about Foodspotting. And during our interview, she actually broke a little bit of early news about the Foodspotting Foursquare partnership, and because of that, we had to hold on to this episode a little bit. It wasn't technically public knowledge at the time, and so we agreed to hold on to the episode, but we're excited to be able to share it with you now that the news has broken, and Foodspotting, Foursquare seems like a very natural partnership. They're obviously all about going out, enjoying yourself, and then sharing that information with friends, so we thought we'd just dive right into the interview and hear what she had to say at the Social-Loco conference. All right, so we're here with Andrzejewski, is that right? How close did I get?
That was really close, except for Alexa.
Alexa, not Alexia. Alexa Andrzejewski. And you are from Foodspotting, correct? All right. So we are, I think both Adam and I are Foodspotting users, so we're big fans of the service, but maybe if you could just tell us a little bit about Foodspotting, what it is, how it works, and specifically how it's taking advantage of social, local, and mobile.
Right, yeah. So Foodspotting is the first app that was focused on rating dishes instead of just restaurants. So I came up with the idea a few years ago when I was looking for a certain dish I discovered in Japan, and I couldn't find it, and I thought, there's a lot of apps for rating restaurants, but there's nothing for sharing where to find specific dishes, searching for specific dishes, and rating those dishes. And so that's at the core what makes Foodspotting unique. And then it's powered by people who take pictures of their food. So people have gone out and cataloged almost 2 million dishes now all over the world, but it's not just for people who take pictures of food, and it's not a photo sharing app. It's really about food discovery and finding food easier. Wow.
And so the community aspect of your application is big, right? It's getting people to build that network and share with their friends. What do you guys do to help people build their network or emphasize the community aspect of the service?
Yeah, so a really important part of Foodspotting is encouraging quality contributions and rewarding people for creating quality contributions. So if I recommend something, if I'm the first to recommend something that a lot of people love, I start to build up a reputation on Foodspotting and that kind of thing. But also, more than anything, just the social feedback of people saying that's awesome, great shot, great find, keeps our Foodspotting community motivated to keep sharing.
All right.
But then for everyone else, it's about finding that food and food seeking. And those people, say that they found a great thing through somebody and can give them props.
What inspired you initially to create Foodspotting? Because I think it was kind of ingenious. I think there's a lot of folks out there, again, I'll speak for myself and maybe even for Corey, that shoot food a lot with our cameras even before Foodspotting ever came about. It's kind of like you want to remember that dish. You want to check out especially places that have, they know how to present their food in a beautiful way. You just want to, it's part of retaining that memory of that experience.
Right.
So what made you think, I think this could turn into something really interesting, an actual, social network, so to speak?
Right, yeah. So the problem I was trying to solve again was finding a specific dish, and then I also noticed that there were a lot of people already taking pictures of their food and posting them online. And I thought, what if I could harness all those people's energy to help me find my favorite dish, and get all these people, somehow motivate all these people that are already taking pictures of their food to post them on Foodspotting, so they would actually be useful to other people. Because the thing is, if you post a food picture just on a regular social network, it kind of passes through the feed and disappears. And you're not leaving a footprint for anybody else to find later. Whereas if you post that on Foodspotting, I can walk into a restaurant and see what my friends loved there a year ago, and see who's been there, and see what is the most recommended at that place. And that's actually how most people use Foodspotting. Is they'll add a restaurant, they open it up, and it's this personalized social menu with all the dishes their friends have recommended. And so we thought, how can we get people to take those pictures, take all that energy, and put them in a place where they can be found and useful to everybody else.
And like you were saying, you don't have to be only a person who wants to take photos, because you just open up the app and all that information is there for you if you just simply want to use it to discover, right?
Yeah, so when you launch Foodspotting, the first thing you see is the best dishes nearby. So around here, there's macarons from Patisserie Philippe. And if I just saw the name Patisserie Philippe on a list of restaurants, I wouldn't know they had these beautiful, delicious passion fruit macarons or whatever. Whereas when I see that on Foodspotting, that can actually get me in the door of a place that I hadn't thought to try otherwise. If I just saw that name, it wouldn't be there wouldn't be something to stand out. But seeing that dish or knowing that I bookmarked that dish in the past makes me want to actually go there. So I mean, ultimately, like Foodspotting superpower is that we make people hungry, and we like seriously.
It doesn't take much to make me hungry. It's all right. It's all right.
Every day on Twitter, there's somebody who's like, "Oh, you know, I'm starving because I'm looking at Foodspotting," and I think we can, we create demand for things where it didn't exist, and we can get people to try, hole in the wall Chinese restaurant, big restaurants that they didn't know had brunch, or just other things like that because of the dishes.
So you guys have been, I think, one of the case studies that Facebook has talked about for Open Graph, is that right?
Yeah.
How is the experience of working with Facebook and kind of being one of the early innovators in Open Graph? Has that worked well for you guys, and what's your experience with that?
Yeah, so I mean, the Open Graph was a perfect fit for us because it's focused on, like objects and actions. And
right.
So in our case, our objects are dishes. That was really a perfect use case for them. So we started working with them early, and they were great to work with. Obviously, when you're working on something from the earliest days, there's lots of hiccups to work out and things. But it was great because we were able to kind of co-create the product with them in a way and give feedback throughout the process. And so the way that the Open Graph integration works is that whenever you take originally it was only people who took pictures of food whose activity was shared on Facebook, but now you can connect Foodspotting to your Facebook page, and then anything that you want, try, or love shows up on Facebook, kind of like a like. So it's as if you push like, without having to just use the word like, all those little actions can appear on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So I might see, my co-founder wanted this really delicious red velvet French toast, and I can see that on Facebook, and I actually can want it too now. Really soon we'll be able to want it too right from Facebook.
Okay, so Facebook then becomes sort of the middleman between the data, where you can connect through Foodspotting or you can connect on Facebook, and then it moves that data back and forth.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, with the Open Graph, a dish could go viral on Foodspotting. So, if someone discovers the sushi burrito, they could want it on Foodspotting. That shows up on Facebook. Their friends can want it too, and it can start to rise up in other people's timelines. So, for a local business or a brand, it's a way to get their product discovered.
We were talking about Foursquare a little bit earlier, and the interesting thing is, not too long ago, they integrated menus into many of the restaurants on there. But the one thing that I found lacking with that when I used it was, I think I was waiting at a BJ's Brew House to have lunch with some friends, and we're sitting out in front of it and, waiting for 15 minutes, and I'm looking through as I checked in and saw the stuff on their menu, but it was really underwhelming. It didn't make me want to order anything any quicker because there were no visuals. It would be really interesting for, a company like Foursquare, for instance, to tie in some crowdsourced images directly from, Foodspotting, for instance, because it would really change the experience of wanting to order food, and it would still keep that kind of peer-to-peer discovery going that you guys, stand for.
Yeah, we actually work really closely with Foursquare as well, so in the next week look for some interesting things there too.
There we go.
So my last question to you is, what was the last thing you spotted?
The last thing I spotted was actually something I found through Foodspotting. I was looking for hand-pulled noodles, which are the super thick, authentic Chinese noodles.
Yeah.
And I searched for them on Foodspotting and found a place that I bookmarked a year ago. I had been wanting to go for a year, and went and tried them, and they were delicious. There was this lamb broth, and it was really, really good.
And you spotted your dish right afterwards?
And then I took my picture as well, and that was at King of Noodles out in the sunset.
Okay. So the last question for myself would be for the restaurant owners out there that want to make the most of Foodspotting to kind of promote their brand, to promote their restaurant. How would you recommend that they do that? Is it put a sticker up on the front that says, "Hey, we're on Foodspotting," or what are some tips you would have for restaurant owners?
Yeah, so for restaurant owners, go to restaurants.foodspotting.com. And we're going to be rolling out some tools that let restaurant owners promote their daily specials and promote some of their interesting dishes. So go there and sign up for early access, and you can send away for a window sticker that encourages your fans to love things on Foodspotting.
Awesome. Well, Alexa, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Appreciate having you on the show.
Thanks.
All right. Well, very exciting news coming out of the Foodspotting camp. And as a user of Foodspotting, I was actually very excited to get a chance to talk with Alexa and hear what she had to say. And I think you're a user of Foodspotting as well. Isn't that right, Adam?
Yes, I eat a lot is what you're saying, Corey. I get it.
No, I'm not saying that at all. But you actually had a little bit of a nerd moment, if I remember correctly. You and Alexa were talking about Foodspotting and kind of sharing some of your recent food spots. And then after that, I think she followed you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you had a little bit of a nerding out moment.
Yeah, I said I was pretty, when you get the CEO or the founder of the company who's likely being followed by a lot of folks, especially, founders of successful companies out here in the Valley always have a lot of folks that want to connect with them and such. And she liked the photos that I had and gave it a great shot, I think, for one, and then started following me on Foodspotting. So I think we'll see if she likes anything else in the future, but it was kind of cool having her do that.
There you go. And actually, if you want to follow either Adam or I, we're both available on Foodspotting, so I think you can just probably search for our typical username. I'm Corey O'Brien, and do you go by Adam Helway or Secret Sushi on Foodspotting?
I do not remember, but it would be either of those. Anywhere on the web you find either of those, that would be me.
There we go.
And with that, we'd like to thank the audience for listening in to this episode. If you want, you can go ahead and contact us on Twitter. The show can be found at Solo-Mo Show. And I'm at Secret Sushi.
And I can be reached at Corey O'Brien.
You can also reach us via email at solomoshow@gmail.com. And with that, we'll end this special episode, and we'll see you again at a regularly scheduled program. Thank you.